So first you want to go to agent dashboard on transaction desk and you're going to click on create transaction. And here is where typically if you already have a subject property, you would put the name of the property and then you would import the data with the MLS number. But in this case, we're sending a tenant representation and an IABS. So I'm just going to put my client's name and then we're going to change it later. So here I'm just going to put John to type and you're going to select whichever applies. In this case we're going to do residential buyer side, and then again we're going to skip this part because we don't have a set property yet. Then it's automatically going to list you as the selling agent, and we're going to press create. Again, we do not have a set property, so we can't give these details, so you just want to press next, and this is where you'll get to the contact. You'll see your broker and yourself, and here is where you want to add your clients. If you already have them as an existing contact, you can do so, or you can create a new contact, but in this case I'm just going to do existing contact and add my hypothetical clients. And you're just going to save, and here is all the contacts that you need for the moment, and you're going to press next. And this is where you'll get to forms, and here you want to add, and you're going to put representation and it'll pop right up. And in this case, we're going to do the short form. This one is just a lot easier. It's just one page. The long form you can also use, but it might scare your client off a little bit just because it's 5 pages. The short form is real simple. So you're going to add that to the cart. Now here is also where you would put the IABS, but I'm not going to add my IABS here. I never add my IABS with forms just because I have a pre-filled one, and it's just a lot easier for me. But if you don't, you can just look it up and add it to the forms. Now we're going to get to documents. This is where you can add your external documents, and this is where I'm going to add my IABS that I have saved to my computer. So you're going to press add, and then you're going to click this, which is going to take you to your folders. As you can see, I have the blank IABS right here, and I'm just going to click it and it'll be uploaded. And then you're going to press done. And now you have a transaction created. So now we're going to go ahead and fill out these forms. So I'm going to press on the representation agreement and it will land you here. And the cool thing with transaction desk is that it already pre-fills the information that it already has, but we're going to go paragraph to paragraph and I'm going to explain it to you guys. So paragraph number 1 is talking about the parties. Who is this agreement between? So you have your clients and you have your broker. This is going to be filled out if you put this information in already. Pretty simple. Number 2, appointment. You don't have to fill out anything in paragraph 2. It's just telling you that the client appoints broker as the client's real estate agent with the terms of this agreement. And then you're going to move down to paragraph 3, definitions. This is talking about the market area that your client is looking into. I personally like to go by county. You can do subdivision, city, zip code, etc. But I feel like county just gives you a wider range. So I'm just going to do Harris County for this example. And then you're going to move on to paragraph 4. This is talking about terms. This is talking about how long is this agreement valid for, right? When does it begin and when does it end? Typically with buyers, I would recommend 3 to 6 months. With renters, I would recommend maybe 3 months. But to be honest, the more the merrier. So we're going to select today as our as the day that our agreement begins, and we're going to say that it's going to end February 6th, which is a Friday. And you're going to move down to number 5. This is talking about broker obligations. This is asking whether you're going to be providing full service or if you're going to basically be an Uber driver and just open doors for people. And in our brokerage, we do not do showing services, guys. We are not Uber drivers. We're not going to go and open doors for people and get paid a flat fee. It's not a good look. So you're going to always pick full services. And then paragraph 6 is talking about the client's responsibilities. It's talking about the fact that the client has to exclusively work with you and also mention to other brokers and sales agents that they are being represented already. And then number 7, this is where it's talking about broker compensation. This is talking about your commission. So number 1 is purchases and number 2 is leases. I should also mention, if you didn't already read this, this is a buyer/tenant representation form. So it's also valid for tenants. So in this case, we are doing a purchase example. So I'm going to only fill out number 1. But if you're only doing a lease, you should only fill out the lease. So typically our commission is 3%, right? But you really want to explain this to your clients, you guys. You want to let them know that if they do not, if the seller doesn't pay your commission, they're going to have to cover it. Or if they're paying a percentage of your commission but not the full thing, they are going to have to pay the rest. But also mention that this is all negotiable and that you're going to try your best to get this entire commission from the seller. And honestly, these days, sellers are really paying the full 3% commission. And if you're doing a lease, it's going to be 50% of 1 month's rent. Some places might pay more. Some apartments, for example, pay 100%, but typically we put 50%. Now, paragraph 7b is talking about when this commission is earned and payable. And it's payable when the client acquires a property in the market area during the term. And then C is talking about the source of payment. Broker may receive compensation from the seller, landlord, or their agents. Broker will credit any such compensation towards compensation due to broker under this agreement, and client will pay any remaining balance. You guys remember what I just said about the fact that if the seller or the landlord is not paying your commission, client will have to pay the remaining balance. You want to disclose this to your client before you even get this form to them. So, and D is talking about escrow authorization. It's basically saying that your client authorizes that the broker can collect and distribute all the amounts payable to broker. And then paragraph 8, this is when you get to intermediary. And as you can see, you have a very long paragraph here, and you really want to explain intermediary to your clients because it can sound scary to them. You need to explain to them that intermediary doesn't necessarily always have to be you representing them and the seller at the same time. It can mean that if they're interested in one of our properties, one of our office listings that's listed by another agent, that's also considered intermediary because it is an in-house transaction. So you really want to educate your clients on all of this. And I always encourage my clients to say yes to intermediary because you never know when one of our agents is going to have a listing that your client might like. So I always put does, but again, discuss this with your clients. They might really not be comfortable with this at all, and they might not want to. So make sure that you're reading this and completely educating yourself. And then this paragraph right here is talking about that the fact that broker compensation is just not set by law. It's 100% negotiable. So you want to explain this to your client as well. And then you will get to the end of the page ready to go and get sent to sign. So you want to click on this X up here where it says save and exit. Make sure you save your work. And this is where you would fill out your IABS if you don't have a filled out one, but mine is already filled out and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. But if yours is not, you want to make sure that you go ahead and fill it. It's simply just your broker's information and license numbers and all that stuff. So when you're ready to sign, you're going to go back to your form and you're going to click on the little pen on top of your screen where it says send to new Authentisign, and it will land you on this page. The first thing that I like to do is make sure that I've added all of my documents. So as you can see, it's only one document, which is our agreement. And you're going to press on the right side where it says docs, and you're going to press add a document or form. And this is where you will see the form that you either externally added, or if you added to IABS to the documents, it will also be here. So I'm just going to come to the right and press add. And as you can see, I now have my IABS. This is what I was talking about filling out your IABS. It's simply just your broker and your information. And it's a lot easier to just have one ready and just add it to the forms and documents. So now we're going to press on signers on the right, and we're going to add participants. And this is where you're going to add your clients and yourself as well. So as you can see here, it says add from transaction. I already added my client to this transaction, right, as a contact. But if you haven't, you can add from new, or if you have them in your contact, you just don't have them in the transaction, you can put add from contacts. But in this case, I'm going to put add from transaction, and I'm going to select my hypothetical buyer, John Doe. And I'm going to select that. Now that we have our signer set, we're going to press on tools on the right. And this is all of your signing tools, and it's really cool. And the cooler thing about Transaction Desk is that when you add a form internally, like we did here, it already puts the signatures there. And you don't need to add it and drag it down. But when you add documents externally, it does not do that. So here we need initials from our client, right? We're going to come to the right where it says initials, and we're going to click it, and it'll pop up in the middle of your screen just like this. And you can just press grab it and just drag it to where it needs to go. And then you're going to also need it dated. So you're going to come to the right and you're going to press auto date under signers field. And again, it's going to go to the middle of your page and you just want to drag it down to where it says date. Now, as you can see here, it's also asking for broker or broker's associate signature. It's always going to be broker's associate signature, which is going to be you. So I'm going to go back to my signing tools and I'm going to press on the contact. And as you can see here, it says myself. And I'm just going to press on myself. And here is your signing actions. And I'm going to press sign here. And you're going to have to accept it. And you can drag your signature and the date down to where it says broker or broker's associate signature. Now, you can't check this box while you're filling out the form. So what I personally like to do is I'll add a text box. Now, there might be an easier way to do this, to be honest, but I'll click on text box and I will click where I want it to go. And this is where I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And I'm just going to type X. And I'm just going to make it small to where it'll fit that little box, right? And then you just want to move it to where it says broker's associate. And it's that easy, you guys. And then you want to go back down, make sure you're not missing any signatures. And once you have those fields filled out with little boxes of signatures, you're going to go ahead and press next. And this is where it'll tell you when this DocuSign is going to expire. Mine is always a month from whenever I send it over. You can also set it to where you can send reminders, but I'm not going to do that. And once you have all of this, you're going to press send, and it will bring you here. And once your clients sign this, it will automatically say 1 out of 1 completed. Or if you had to send it to 2 different clients, not different clients, but let's say it's 2 partners that are in this transaction together, it'll say 2 out of 2 completed. So I'm going to show you guys what it looks like signed. And it's going to look just like this. You'll have your signature, you'll have the date, and the initial as well. And that is how you send over a tenant/buyer representation to get signed.